Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, my squaddy friends in the chat. How are you doing? Hope you are well. I don't know about you, but I think I'm overwhelmed in my brain. As we know, today is day one day two of his part of the court case, but day one of him, Prince Harry being on the witness stand. He's going to be there until tomorrow. He's going to be back. The court session has ended for the day. He's going to be back tomorrow. I think he's going to be under cross examination until their lunchtime tomorrow. And so after that, I don't know what they do. Maybe, I don't know, redirect from his attorneys. I don't know how they operate they do that in the UK. I know in the US it's like your attorney, basically, they lay out your case with your attorney and then you get cross-examination. It seems the reverse in the UK. I'm assuming, again, after it's ended with the defense attorneys or barristers, cross-examining him, he'll get a redirect from his attorneys. I'm assuming if there are squaddies British squaddies in the chat, please let me know if that's how it works there, or maybe that's just the end of his time on the witness stand. Who knows? But anyways, lots happened this morning, but before we get that, I was going to say hi to everyone in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Lydia, our awesome moderator. How are you? And Lydia's reminding everyone, it's like, welcome to the live chat. Thanks for joining. Please like, share, subscribe, and join the membership if you're able. Thank you so much, Lydia. I appreciate that. Thank you for that bit of advertisement. I appreciate. Black Queen is here, and Karen M, our awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Karen M, and Saima, and Florence, and Maverick. How are you? I think I just said Florence. Annie is here, and Marvin Cato. Hello, Marvin. How are you? Let's see who else is here. Adrian is here. Mrs. S is here. So let's see. Okay. If you guys could just hold with me there for 1 second. I'm actually gonna put some music on for 1 second because I realized I forgot to do something here. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of music. You listen to a little bit of music, and I will be right back. I forgot to do this. Let's see. Okay, I am sorry, guys. I realized I forgot to customize it so no trolls come into the chat, and where I set it so that way there's only let's just bring down this music. That way that there are only subscribers in the chat, and I realized I didn't do that. I completely forgot. It's just like, oh no. So if there are any trolls in the chat, you're not allowed to be trolling the Sussexes. Okay, we don't allow trolling comments in the chat. So if you've already come here and done that, delete yourself or something. But I apologize. I had to run. I just realized, like, oh no, we don't want trolling in our chat. So if there's any, I apologize. I realized I forgot to just set it. So oh, Nadine Berg, thank you so much. Nadine, awesome poet. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate. Let's see who else is in the chat. Fancy is here, Louise and Carolyn and Bisani. How are you? Bisani is saying Sherburne will redirect after MGN ends, which is what I thought. So in the US, I think it goes the opposite, where you do with his attorney, then you have cross-examination, and I think then at the end there's a redirect. So we'll see. So we'll jump into the case in a bit. That's all we're going to be talking about. We'll be here for about an hour, and that's all we'll be talking about. So let's see, Mrs. N. Oh, hello, Mrs. N. How are you? Hello, nice to have you here. Connie is here. Hello, Connie. And let's see who else is here. Robin is here. And if I missed anybody, oh, Faye and Elmsy is here. And who else is here? Joan is here and Teslin. Hello, guys. So anyways, so everyone else will get to I'll try to find you as we go along, just so that we can get into stuff. So yes, this morning we had the pleasure of seeing our Prince Harry, the first royal to take the witness stand in 130 years. And I'm telling you, Prince Harry, no matter what the outcome of this is, I just feel like I'm just so proud of this man. I'm so proud of him. And, someone mentioned on Twitter today, like, how Prince Charles or King Charles, he's basically a coward. And Prince Harry is just like not running away from a fight. And I think it's so incredible that you can see the picture right in front of you now. The court case is coming up, and King Charles decided to go off to Transylvania and to relax and whatever else he's doing there. And Harry, who doesn't even live in the country anymore, flies all the way into the battle, into the belly of the beast, to do something he has never, ever done before, that nobody thought he could do. And to sit there and, what the press has painted his character as, this hot-headed, not very intelligent, whatever else they've painted Harry. And to see this man walking there, grown, adult, mature, soft-spoken, even, apparently funny, a couple of times, very lighthearted, very soft-spoken, so soft-spoken apparently until, one of the barristers had to ask him to speak up a little bit. And, and I'm sure there were nerves, and I'm sure there were all of those things, but I'm telling you, for me, it doesn't even, I want Prince Harry to win. Don't get me wrong. I want him to win this court case, but for me, it's just, he's already won. He has already won. And to see this man stand up there and not, and not allow himself to be bullied, and not allow himself to, be like a victim of the press, where he has to do what they want him to do and live by, and let them dictate his life. It is just so, I'm like, King Harry. That's all I've been tweeting all day. # King Harry. And I'm telling you, King Charles is king in name only. Harry is the true. He has the heart of a king. And I'm like, you know what? I'm riding with Harry any day. I mean, I've always been riding with Harry. But I'm like, ride or die, that's my king. If I were to believe in kings or want a king, that's who I'd want for my king. And it's so inspiring. And I'm like, I'm gonna put the link in the show notes. So Leslie, I didn't see you yet in the chat. So if you're here, Leslie, I'm putting the link in here. So call in, paste. So I didn't see Leslie yet. So whenever you come in, Leslie, just call and we'll jump right into it. It is just, I'm telling you, I am just so proud of Prince Harry, and just, the fact that he just put himself out there, and no matter how much fear and no matter how whatever he's feeling, but to know that, and this is the heart of a true soldier. This is the heart of a man who would fight and go to battle and not be afraid. And it's like, if I die, I die. If I'm going to fight, I'm going to die fighting. And for me, that's the heart of a king. And that is Prince Harry. Not one person in the royal family could say they're like him. I'm like, I am so proud of this man. So, thank you so much, Yvette. I'm sorry, Joyce Yvette Davis. Thank you for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all, guys, for your incredible support. Val Rich, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I just started. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and your support. Thank you for your super sticker. Again, Leslie, if you're here, the link is in the chat. So if you let me know if you need me to post it again, I just posted it there. So call in if you're here. But we'll just jump right into it with some things I saw today. And before we go to Maggie says, Charles left the UK so he can make phone calls to his mouthpiece tabloids and judges telling them what to do, comma. Would I be shocked? No. Mrs. S is like, KC3 has always been a coward. He has. He really has always been that way. And, again, for me, he is a king in name only. And Lady Bird says it best. Harry, the lion heart. Yeah, absolutely. He has the heart of a lion. He's like, bring it on. I will fight, and I will fight to the death, So I'm so proud of this man. Like, Meghan, you got yourself a good one there, one of the things, and so I got from there's a whole bunch of articles, and I posted a couple of things in our community page. The Harry's entire statement, 51-page statement, and I have not had a chance to go through and read it, and so that, and also a link to all of the receipts that Harry's team is presenting to present their case to the judge that, yes, this has been unlawful information gathering from the Mirror News group. And so, Joan, thank you so much. Harry, she's like, Harry ain't afraid of no ghosts. No, he ain't afraid of no ghosts. I like that. Thank you, Joan. I appreciate that. But so I got I was just like scrolling through Twitter, and there so many people, of course, all the British reporters are reporting on it, tweeting about it. They have like long threads about it. And so this was one I found. It says, Prince Harry is measured and very softly spoken, despite quite challenging questions from Andrew Green. That's the one we were talking about yesterday, Andrew Green, KC, who is currently dissecting his witness statement. Prince Harry's responses are short and polite. He simply says, "That's incorrect, Mr. Green," when the pair disagree. And yeah, that was one of the things that everybody was talking about, is just how calm and how soft-spoken and how polite Harry is. And that is very different from the picture that the tabloids paint. They don't want that. They want Harry to go off. They want whatever image that they have painted on Harry to be the thing. And it's just like, Harry has completely flipped that on his head. And, and so it's just wonderful to see. It is wonderful to see that, it's like he understands the situation that they're in. He understands the stakes. He understands what needs to be done, And so I'm just really, and I think this is also a testament to the work he's done on himself, the work, whether it's a therapy, the coaching, and all of those things that he uses, the help, and also the love of his family in Montecito. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. And witness statement there, as we know, like again, I posted in our community page Harry's witness statement, and this is a little part of the witness statement, and it is a little bit long. I'm just going to move my little brand thing there so I can read it, but it's so important. Let's see, I'm just going to make that bigger, so just in case you want to read along with me, you can read along. So there we go. Make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, it says, part of it says, Oh, let me just move my little subscribe button at the bottom there again. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Move a little banner so we can get all of it. And yeah, so there we go. All right, so it says, however, having that's obviously coming. This is just an excerpt of it, so there was more information before the however. Obviously, it says, however, having experienced what I have over the last 6 years in terms of constant harassment online and off, intimidation and abuse that my wife and I have suffered at the hands of the tabloids, this sort of appalling behavior doesn't really surprise me. Unfortunately, without proper press regulations, which the current government clearly has no appetite for because their friends in the press say so, it is only going to get worse. Finding out about the level of cover up is what makes me want to see MGN claim through makes me want to see my MGM claim through to the end so people can really understand what happened. The fact that it was not just the journalists who were carrying out the unlawful activity, but also those in power who were turning a blind eye to it so as to ensure that it would continue unabated, and who then tried to cover it up when the game was up is appalling. The fact that they're all ganging up to protect each other like they first did after Levison is the most disturbing part of it all, especially as their mothership of especially as they are the mothership of online trolling. Trolls react to and mobilize to stories they create. People have died as a result, and people will continue to kill themselves by suicide when they can't see another way out. How much more blood will stain the typing fingers before someone can put a stop to this madness? And so that is a little bit of, and I have a couple other parts to Harry's statement, and it is just so powerful. And I love how it articulated it. How he was able to articulate what he wanted to say. And it is just that is a lot of his witness statement is what's been played out in the press that I've seen so far. People are really picked up, and it's seeming to resonate with people online as well. And it is so true. As he talks about the abuse for the last 6 years that he and Meghan has had to endure, that is to this day. And it's like, how much longer? How many other people are going to have to die before somebody does something? And what is scary about this whole thing is like, when you saw one of the first people King Charles met with when he became king was, what's her name, from the editor from The Sun. The same thing with the prime minister. One of the first people they met with is, people from The Sun, Rupert Murdoch people. And it's just like, as Ari said, they have no appetite for changing anything because they're afraid of the tabloid press. So they get into bed, instead of fighting and changing things, they get into bed with them so that they can stay on side of them. And it's just, it is so sickening to see. And it's just, again, with everything that has happened, it's just good to see somebody stand up. And it's even more important to see somebody who has been so abused, and a regular person would have run away and be like, oh no, I can't do this. There's no way I'm going back to that country to go to court, do something I never do, not only to protect my family, but to protect other people that there are 100 people on this same case. Not just Harry, of course, he's the one that everybody is focused on, but there are 100 people that are part of this lawsuit against the Mirror newspapers. And so it is so good to see Harry, just after all the abuse. Again, he did say in an interview he's not going to be bullied into silence, and he has kept that word. He's kept his word. One of the things Harry also talked about, was, people, they were trying to steal his DNA. And because they were in this thing where they were trying to prove that he was, Princess Di. What is his name? I always, for some reason, I never remember. I am so bad with names, as you probably noticed by now. I'm terrible, terrible, terrible with names. But what's his face that they the tabloids all of a sudden zone in on, wondering if he is Harry's father. And and Harry mentioned it in Spare how even King Charles had sort of thrown it out there at him, and with no saying that no, that's not the true or any of that. I just threw it out there. And it just was like, to the point where in this, Harry talked about Hewitt. Yes, there you go. What's the first name? What is Hewitt's first name? Somebody could remind me of what Hewitt's first name is. James Hewitt. Thank you, Bassani. Thank you so much. I'm horrible with these people's names. And I appreciate you guys so much for bailing me out, because I'm like, I don't remember anybody's names. Yes. Patty's like, exactly. I'm so proud of him. Yes, we all are. So yeah, and it was this thing where they, and even Harry talked about it. And again, I hope, when later tonight I have a moment to read the whole witness statement. But part of it where Harry talked about, he was feeling like people were trying to get him kicked out of the royal family by claiming he's not one of them. So that's why, and as a little kid, you're having to deal with your own mess and having to deal with your mom, and all the stuff with the divorce, and then her mom dying, and then you have to deal with this mess where, tabloids it was like sport to them to destroy his life, and then find out that people were trying to steal his DNA to, to prove. And we talked about this crazy guy, Burrows, the private investigator, that I did a whole episode on Gavin Burrows, that con artist. And he had this thing where he was saying that he prevented them from stealing Harry's DNA, and that he basically put himself as a hero. And then I checked his Twitter feed today, where he was saying, no, I was working with with Prince Charles's his private secretary to make sure Harry's DNA is not stolen, and they thanked me, and Harry thanked me, and all of this stuff is on. And at this point, I'm like, dude, I don't believe anything you said. I mean, again, we did a whole episode on this. This guy's like a total con artist. So anyway, this is what Harry's witness statement said about his them trying to steal his DNA. It says, of particular concern to me in this article, is referencing an article that talks about it are the comments from a highly placed royal source, which provided details on how the alleged plot would have been carried out, and more importantly, that my DNA would be sold abroad. I'm not sure from where or who these comments were obtained, but from because they feel like a huge security risk, effectively putting a price on my DNA for anyone who could obtain it. I firmly do not believe these are details anyone within the palace would have shared, given the measures put in place for the security of all members of the royal family. My solicitors have also shown me 3 contribution request payments to Gavin Burrows. Yes, same crooked private eye. They have shown me 3 contribution request payments to Gavin Burrows of IEG Europe Limited for £5,000. This one with the reference Prince Harry Special, which was approved by the editor, which is the Mirror editor, Neil Wallace, or one of the Mirror papers. £1,000 and £250, which, given their dates, seem related to this article. I believe these show that MGN were using unlawful means of gathering information about me for this article. And again, it says the payments were to Gavin Burrows. So Gavin Burrows is there claiming that he was the one that foiled the plot to, from people who wanted to obtain Harry's DNA. And this is saying they have receipts of Gavin Burrows being paid by MGN, one of their papers to get the DNA. So it's just, I'm like, and one of the things that always gets me is I saw this picture on the left there for the first time of Harry and William in the back, and you see the huge flash through the windshield next to William, and little Harry sitting there hiding his face, strapped into his car seat. It is just it's so painful to watch that. And to what these are adults doing this to children. And I guess, for me, it just brings back what an abusive culture, that is in the UK. Like, it is just literally so incredibly abusive. It is sickening to say. Yeah, it just, and again, Gavin Burr's claiming, and so now he's like, no, I saw it there in court, but Prince Charles thanked me and Harry thanked me for saving, his DNA from being, someone stealing it and all of those things. And I was like, Gavin, unless you provide evidence that you weren't part of this, I don't believe a word you say. So that's how I am with that. Manal, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you are now a Citizen Screw member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. Let's see what else we got in court. And also this, I posted a link to this. This is a list of receipts that Harry's team have. And I remember when I did the episode on Gavin Burrs and just him, saying at first that, oh yeah, he's going to be part of helping Harry, and then bailing. And then, all of a sudden he's on the Daily Mail side of things. One of the things I was saying that I was hoping and praying that his Harry and the other claimant's legal team have a lot of evidence that has nothing to do with Gavin Burrs, that they have so many evidence from other places. And so I remember some squaddies were like, yeah, no, they would never put, and they helped me to really be confident, because they're like, no, they would not bring a claim with only Gavin Burrs as the witness. They would have a lot of other evidence from other people. And just from, just from looking at this, they have a lot of different receipts from a lot of different people, and a lot of invoices, a lot of call logs, like, stuff that people, I guess, accessed. A lot of their, as you can see, some of Chelsea Davy was spot. They had call data for her. Princess Diana's call data. Guy Pelly. I don't know who George Springfield is. Patty Havison. I think he was one of their staff. Jamie Lather Pinkerton. I think they were like their private secretary. Jamie Lather Pinkerton, and they also, I think they allegedly hacked or blagged, Tiggy, Harry and William's babysitter, or nanny, however you call them. So they have a lot of different receipts, payment invoices. Their different people have had Harry, and and it's not just Harry in the family. It was like William, Kate, again, that was part of the family as well, that were hacked and blagged by these outlets. And and their names showed up on different reporters, Palm Pilots back then, back in the 90s, whatever, before Palm Pilot was the first quote unquote like smartphone, or like the actually not phone, but like the first iPad, or first pad that you could think. It was a Palm Pilot, and I think some of them had a phone attached to it as well, I think. And you did need your your pencil to work with it and all of that stuff. So if you're much younger, you have no idea what a Palm Pilot is. So, but back in the 80s and 90s, that was the modern technology of the day, and so they have loads and loads of receipts. So I put a link to it in our community page. So definitely you can go ahead and access that and download them. You can download the 51-page statement from Prince Harry, and also you can download this. So it's all in our community page. Let's see what else. So Byline Times which also reported some of what Harry said. This is about with Princess Diana, and again, this is Princess Diana in a cab, and paparazzi all around her. She's like literally, she's almost underground. Her head is almost underground, trying to hide and have some semblance of peace. It's so disturbing to look at these images of what she went through, and a lot of it she went through by herself because she didn't have any support. And as a mother with two young children, it's just disgusting, utterly disgusting. And so this is some of what Byline Times picked up from Harry's statement. It says Prince Harry has accused arch critic Piers Morgan of conspiring to phone hack Princess Diana in a historic witness deposition to High Court. Byline Times can be the first to report. In a statement to the court, the Duke of Sussex revealed his drive to hold those responsible for targeting his mother in the months leading to her death in August 1997 as she fled paparazzi in Paris, in a Paris subway car crash. Or Paris tunnel car crash, however you want to say it. Harry, through his legal team, is alleging that MGN eavesdropped on Princess Diana's calls to entertainer Michael Barrymore in 1997, leading to a newspaper article in Morgan's Mirror and prompting Diana to apologize in 3 letters to the former star, who was undergoing addiction treatment at the time. And apparently, I think there was like 6 articles or so written about these private calls that, at the time, and again, Diana, she was flabbergasted as to how anybody could have known about her calls to Michael Barrymore. And, and Harry talked about just feeling, this is months leading up to her death, like 3 months or whatever it was leading up to her death. And she actually wrote him letters just apologizing, not understanding. And this was all around the time where they were saying that Princess Diana was paranoid and all of these things, And again, we remember William even using the word when he called her paranoid. And so, but she wasn't paranoid. They were literally doing this. They were literally listening in on her private conversations. And so, and we talked about this at length before, but yeah, it's like, it was so egregious. Actually, let me go back to this. It was so egregious that Prince William even joined in, and they even banned, BBC from ever airing the Martin Bashir interview with her, because of, she was, according to William, at that time, right before her death, she was paranoid. And yet she wasn't, And so Harry also, this is another part of the article, it says, he also revealed that the tabloid's distortion often painted him in a light so negative that he feared being stabbed by strangers, while the discovery of 8 invoices alleged proving that Diana was targeted left him feeling physically sick. And so again, at the time when Diana died, she didn't have the evidence that Harry has now. With all the invoices, 8 of them, 8 invoices proving that she, that they were, listening in on, they hacked her phone, they hacked her voicemail, listening in on her voicemail. And it's just so despicable what they did to this woman. And to hear Piers Morgan talk about Diana and his love for the royal, I mean, it's so sickening. And all of that is to cover up the fact that of what he was doing, this whole loudness of and creating all this noise. You'd see it from Piers Morgan and Dan Wooten and all of them. It's to cover up what they're doing. They figure if we make more noise, it would be so distracting. People they wouldn't look closely at what we're doing, and it's just really, really sick. And This is just Rebecca Barry. I think she is from ITV, and so she was doing some live tweeting. She was in the courtroom, and so she was doing some live tweeting about what was happening in the courtroom. And so I'm just gonna read some of her tweets today, just to give you an insight into some what was happening. So this is from Rebecca Barry's Twitter. Sorry, Rebecca, I'm just using all your tweets, but they were good. She says Prince Harry says decision to reluctantly step back from royal role was in large part due to the constant intrusion, inciting of hatred and harassment by the tabloid press into every aspect of our private lives, which had a devastating impact on our mental health and well-being. It was a downward spiral whereby the tabloids would constantly try to coax me, a damaged young man, into doing something stupid that would make a good story and sell lots of newspapers. Looking back on it now, such behavior on their part is utterly violent. He's talking about, when he was a young man, teenager, young adult, whatever. They would always try to get him to do something crazy, whether it's a fight or whatever that, so that they can, use those photos for months on end to write all kinds of stories about him. And so he realized that that's what they were doing. They would coax him to do it, into reacting. And other tweet, she says, the Duke of Sussex singled out Piers Morgan for criticism. And these are some of the things that's said about it. It says, and having given her, Harry's talking about his mom, and having given her a nightmare time 3 months prior to her death in Paris, makes me feel physically ill, that even more determined to hold those responsible, including Mr. Morgan, accountable for their vile and entirely unjust behavior. And talking about him and Meghan, it says, as a consequence of me bringing my Mirror Group claim, both myself and my wife have been subjected to a barrage of horrific personal attacks and intimidation from Piers Morgan, who was the editor of the Daily Mail between 1995 and 2004. Harry goes on to say, presumably in retaliation and in hope that I will back down before being able to hold him properly accountable for his unlawful activity towards both me and my mother during his editorship. And another part, he says, and talking about the media, he says, the problem is that over the last 15 to 20 years, there are now incredible, powerful media companies who masquerade as journalists and who have quite literally hijacked journalistic privileges for their own personal gain and agenda. It is an unbelievably dangerous place. And so again, this is getting a whole lot of play. A lot of people have picked up on a lot of the words that, and what Harry has shared. And it is fantastic. I mean, it's, and again, reading through this and obviously you don't have to, this is like preaching to the choir. We saw this every day. We could see the harassment. We could see the intimidation from Piers Morgan and his other ilks in the British brass. And so it is absolute, and Thierry is so right. She's like, the hypocrisy of Piers Morgan after he harassed Diana, had the nerve to show up at her funeral, but her brother put a stop to it. Yeah, exactly. What's his name? Charles Spencer he basically did not want any of the editors from these tabloids at the funeral, at Diana's funeral, because of even days before, I think it was the Sun had this blaring headline of Princess Diana calling her the W word. I don't use those words and I don't want to say it here, but it's really sickening. And the royal family had no problems with these editors being at the funeral until Diana's brother put his foot down and he said, no, I want none of them there. And they relented and they said, fine, we'll honor your request. And they wouldn't, they didn't show up to a funeral. So it's really sick. And to hear him talk about Diana now, it's just like, are you serious? And oh my goodness, ooh. Let's see. Thank you, Thierry. Thank you very much. Let's see. What else did Harry say? Royal Suter, one of our squaddies who is a freelance journalist, uh, she quoting Harry. She said, Harry said, I've always heard people refer to my mother as paranoid, but she wasn't. She was fearful of what was actually happening to her. And now I know I was the same. Because people would say the same thing about Harry. Oh, he's just paranoid. There's no phone hacking and all of these things. There's no leaking. It's just paranoia. You hear that all the time, And Harry said, standing up for his mother is like, no, she wasn't paranoid. She was afraid of what was actually happening to her. And even some tabloid, Robert Jobson, namely, when William, went out, when they were shutting down the BBC from ever airing the Martin Bashir documentary ever again, after the Lord Dyson's report, really slamming the BBC for that interview. One of the things that William said about his mother is that, and right before she died, how paranoid she was. And here is Harry's like, no, my mother wasn't paranoid. This was happening to her. And Robert Jobson, I would never forget this. I am not here for Robert Jobson, but for one time, Robert Jobson comes out with the truth every once in a while. But he was on Omid Scobie's podcast, and he was working with the Express at the time. He said he was at the Express at the time. He's like, look, she wasn't paranoid. She wasn't paranoid at all, and especially when, and he even referenced the, what is that? Those, what is it called? The ticky tapes? That where she was, I think she was at Balmoral, and somebody listened in or hacked their voicemail, or not hacked the voicemail, but hacked their phone. So they were listening in on her conversation with one of her friends. And apparently they had some tender moments, shall we say, on the phone call. And then someone leaked it to the press. And the squidgy tapes. And yeah. And so they were like, oh, she was paranoid. And Robert Jobson's like, look, if she was paranoid, she had every right to be, because the reason why we had the squishy tapes is because somebody hacked that phone. Somebody was listening in on her phone calls, So it wasn't, she, as Harry said, she was afraid of what was actually happening. Everything she said was true. People had hacked her phone. They were listening on her phone calls, So that would make anybody fearful. She's not paranoid. She knew what was happening. I was afraid of what was literally happening to her. And I'm glad it's like Harry's like, now I know I was the same. They were doing the same thing to him and then calling him paranoid, And again, it is so despicable, once again, that William did exactly this to his own mother. I would never forget that. Not many things shocked me. And for all the things I felt of William, I would have never expected William to do that to his mother. But here we are, So, but it's, very powerful statement of Princess Diana's one and only son, Prince Harry, because I can't even with William right now. So anyways, what else is there? So part of the, and I'm going to go through this quickly, and I'm going to get to the chat. So I'm not ignoring the chat. I see you guys, but I want to just go through it. And, it's not a lot. I think I've probably just a couple more things after this, and then I'll stay in the chat for the rest of the time. Dominic Cassiani, he's a legal correspondent for, I don't know, one of the outlets. I didn't look. I was in a rush. But Andrew Green, which is, the Mirror News Group, their attorney, he was asking Harry about a trip, like his first trip to go meet Chelsea's father. And he says, the Mirror News Group lawyer says Harry's trip, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so I can read it better. The Mirror Group lawyer, Andrew Green, says that Prince Harry says that Harry's trip to meet Chelsea Davies' family was already well known across the media. He says the Mail on Sunday had already named the picture and pictured the resort the day before. Since Harry says that he was not surprised because journalists had checked into hotel before he arrived, Prince Harry says the article is suggestive of investigators blagging information about the flights, meaning conning the details out of people who legitimately hold them. But Green suggested that the information came from Chelsea's uncle. Prince Harry said that it was highly unlikely that the uncle would have known the flight plans. So it's like they're like, well, other papers, they already, before you even got there, they knew the details. And Harry's like, no, yeah, because somebody blagged it. Somebody pretended to be us, calling, however they find out that they was going, they would do that. They would call up the airlines, whatever, pretending to be Harry or someone in his team, to confirm information, and then book in themselves into on the same flight or book themselves into the same hotel. They did that. We talked about this a while ago about Chelsea coming from South Africa, and Rebecca English was named in this as the reporter from, if I remember correctly, from Byline Investigate. She was named as the reporter who either paid or was involved with getting an investigator from, I guess, South Africa, wherever, to book a seat right next to Chelsea on the plane. And it was just so scary and sickening, so that they can spy on her. And she is there with someone sitting next to her, not realizing that is a person that was hired by a tabloid to go sit next to her so they can spy on her as she flies to the UK. This is the kind of thing they would do. And they were like, well, your uncle, Chelsea's uncle, could have given it. And Harry says, like, highly unlikely the uncle would have known the flight plans, their detailed flight plans when they're traveling, all of this stuff. And this is how sickening it is. And these people have no morals. It's like, well, it could have come from here. And it's like, why are you all up into people's flight plan? Like, they have no self-awareness of how disgusting this is, that they feel perfectly entitled to invade someone's privacy so they know what hotel he's staying, what his flight plan, so they can go sit next to him, book themselves into a hotel, the same hotel they're staying. I mean, it is disgusting. And they feel no shame about this whatsoever. It is like, I mean, what? I don't even understand what kind of people these are. It is unbelievable. Let's see. Well, before we get to even Kate and her mess, well, you know what? Actually, let's just finish up with this. And one of the things that this whole court case and all of this stuff is bringing out is just the difference between Harry's, his convictions and the royal families, and his morals, and really morals, and the royal family. Because here we are, a big court case, and Harry's there testifying against what the tabloids are doing. I mean, Harry literally has a court case against the Sun. He literally has a court case against the Sun. And what does Kate do this week? Royal approval. I am so proud to back the Sun's fabulous Bank You on Us campaign. It's a vital cause, says Kate Middleton. And it's just like, yeah, Kate Middleton has been in the news lately, and her family, especially her family's finances or lack of, has been in the news lately, and Kate needs to do something. So what does she do? Oh, yes, let's go let the world know that we're supporting and backing the tabloid that's destroying my brother-in-law and his family. Of course. Because if she doesn't, what are the tabloids going to do? They'll take her family down. So what does she do? Instead of fighting? Someone on Twitter is like, if the royal family were anything that, any people that you would really want to look up to or respect, they would be in the court with Harry today. Because a lot of them, including Kate and William, have been victims of the exact same thing Harry is fighting. If these people had any morals and any kind of anything, they would be in there in that court with Harry fighting the press. But now, obviously, we see not one royal family has the guts to stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to speak out. I am not going to sit down and take this. from King Charles leading the way of running away, the coward that he is, to Kate here backing, I mean, in the same time that her brother-in-law is in court fighting for their lives. Kate is like, I will back the son's fabulous baby bank campaign. And even like Newsweek is calling them out. Kate Middleton voiced support for tabloid Prince Harry is suing. This was one of them was from today, but the other one on the right is from March. Prince William and Kate Middleton praised tabloid Prince Harry is suing. I mean, this is shameful. This is so shameful and despicable. It is. I'm telling you, I don't know. I can't even with them, And final thing here, before we get to the into the chat, this from PA Today. Apparently it says, breaking, the police motorcyclist could face criminal charges over collision that killed Helen Holland. That's the 81-year-old woman who died when she was hit by a motorcyclist that was part of Sophie Wessex's motorcade. So Helen Holland, who died in May after being hit by the officer's vehicle, which was part of Duchess of Edinburgh or Sophie's police escort, the Independent Office of Police conducted said. So, whether he's going to be charged, they said he could be, but who knows? Who knows what will happen there? But, whatever it is, condolences to her family. Hopefully, hope they sue or something. I mean, they had already said they don't blame her, Sophie, for it, but will they want to see some kind of justice from this, police motorcyclist? Who knows? And the thing is, why was he speeding? Why were they speeding? She didn't have an engagement, so why were they speeding? So who knows what will happen there? But finally, and this is a quote from, again, Prince Harry's court statement. It says, democracy falls when your press fails to scrutinize and hold the government accountable and instead chooses to get into bed with them so they can ensure the status quo. And I'm telling you, Prince Harry's got some incredible quotes in his statements. But I mean, yeah, exactly. Instead of holding them accountable, they get into bed with them. And it's just, unbelievable. And so I'm going to jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying. And I don't know. I don't know where Leslie is. Let's post it just in case, Leslie, you're here. Posting the link in the chat so you can call in if you're here. I don't see her yet. We would love to hear what you got. And if not, that's fine. We could get more and, I will post on our community page throughout the evening what else I got. So let's see. Lavertha said the tabloids are calling in their favors with the royals, hence the praise from William and his wife. Exactly. They are called. They don't have anything to offer. They don't, even them at the wedding the other day was boring. So they don't have anything to offer. And the press was going after, Kate's family. So, what do they do? Instead of fight back, they cave. They cave in, we'll support you. Just please don't keep attacking my family or don't, say nasty things about me. Just continue doing it to Harry and Meghan, Anne Louise says Kate is praising the tabloids. She must for them to go easy on her parents. Yeah. Which is, that definitely is what it looks like. Let's see. Joan says, she's talking to Donna Black. That reminds me of the saying, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Very, very, very true. Very true. I mean, how cowardly. Like, I can't even imagine if I was a royalist, wanting to support or back or feel confident in William or Charles, as heir, the king and the heir. It's just like, y'all are cowards. Harry, who has no role in, as he said, he has no role in the monarchy. But he says, as part of his witness statement, as a member, still being a member of the royal family, and as a, a military veteran, I think it's my duty, and I see it as my duty to stand up against this, to protect the public from us and the public from this. And it's just like to see a man, with all that he's gone through, have that kind of conviction, and to see the actual king hiding in Transylvania and his heir off somewhere hiding from the press, and then his wife they're caving into the press. It's just like, how could you back these people? How can you back those people? Unbelievable. Um, let's see. Sonia says that is why Meghan should throw these gifts sent by Kate for her children in the trash. Meghan said Kate sent her gifts. I don't see anything from Meghan or Harry saying that they got gifts from them. So I'm assuming that's the press narrative, and they're assuming. Usually they speculate away, because I mean, I was on Twitter and I don't see anything from Harry and Meghan saying anything about Kate's gifts to them. So I would think that is just tabloid nonsense. Let's see. TV says they're showing Kate in that pink suit, which is cosplay of when Meghan wore what Meghan wore to the Lakers game. She changed the shorts to pants, but it's the same as Mem. Oh, okay. I didn't think of that, but she is copy. She always does copy Meghan. So very interesting. Let's see. MJB says, well, Kate is playing the game. I thought Harry was like a brother to her, senile woman. Well, that was is the operative word there. Was like a brother, and she is definitely playing the game. Obvious. I mean, she's not even hiding it. She's definitely playing the game. They needed her to publicly come out and support, since Harry is attacking them. They needed her to come out and publicly support them, or she was gonna get it. Because if you notice, if they can't get at Harry and Meghan, she's the first one they throw under the bus. She's the first one the palace allowed the press to go after. And so she is shoring up. I guess she's learned some stuff from Camilla, because she is definitely shoring up her support from the tabloids. Because again, hello, why else would you go do that? And do this in a week where your brother-in-law is suing the tabloids. Unbelievable. Karen M, our awesome moderator, says, it broke my heart to see Harry, who looked to be about 5, shielding himself from the camera while his mother docked. I know, yeah? When I saw that picture the first time earlier today, I had never seen it before. It was just, it can't help but break your heart. It's so, and again, knowing that it is adults doing that to children, they don't care. They really, really, really just don't care. And, Donnelly said it right. They're totally sick. I'm telling you, they are completely sick. Let's see. What else? Evelyn says, whoa, this is too much to process. I have no words to describe the UK press. I'm telling you, there's so much to process about this case. And again, I mean, and apparently the cross-examination of Harry today, it has long gone Harry's way, because there are certain things that they were asked of him, and they asked that the lawyers were able to, that Harry wasn't able to say yes, it came from hacking. There are some things where some newspaper articles from MJN that they were clearly other outlets had the same article, and the quotes were similar. So, and I think Harry had to concede a couple of them that, that, other articles. So it wasn't just MGM reporting that stuff. So it's not clear who got the information. Oh, someone is buzzing, and I'm just going to leave them there to buzz. Actually, you know what, guys? If you could just hold on for 1 second. That's probably my Amazon. My Amazon package. So hold on 1 second. Just listen to some music. Let me put on my music. I'm so sorry. They buzz right in the middle of me trying to do this. Who is it? Okay. Okay. I am sorry, guys. It's just everything is happening all at the same time here. Sorry about that. Um, I think it's Amazon delivering my package. So, let's see. Going through more comments. Let's see. Sir says this is running away and hiding by Charles, Camilla, and William will not bode well for them around the world. They are showing how weak they are to everyone. Their weakness will soon backfire on them. Karma. This is very true. Because how else would you, again, Harry is sitting there. This is not something that Harry made up. This is something that is affecting so many people's lives. Again, there are 100 claimants on this thing. So it's not just Harry, and these are not all like celebrities, normal people. I mean, this organization, this MGN, has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars to settle claims because so that people don't, and a lot of times people don't have the money to follow through and take it all the way through. But they have settled hundreds of millions of pounds. I'm sorry if I said dollars, pounds for these claims. So this is not something that Harry made up. And so this is not only affecting Harry, it is affecting your country. And for the royal family to run away and hide, this is really, it is definitely cowardly and it is disgraceful. It is utterly disgraceful to see the cowardice of the royal family. Again, King Charles is a king in name only. He does not have the heart or the character of a king. I mean, gosh, if I was a royalist, I would run to the hills because that's who you want, that's who you want to be representing you. Not a chance, Simon says royal family is coward. That is why they're hiding. They can't even support their own. I'm telling you, cowards. Absolute cowards. To see Prince Harry there, again, coming back to the belly of the beast on his own and standing up and doing something so uncomfortable and so unnatural and something he's never, ever done before against people who are, cross-examining him about the most intimate details and most painful details of his life. And to see him sit there and answer, it is that in of itself. I'm like so proud of this man. I am so proud, and I hope he wins this case. But whether that, the judge decide, I mean, this is the judge's call, right? Whether he decides that or not, I am so proud of him because this is a man of guts. This is a man I would ride with, So unreal. Sonia says, Donna Black, it was reported about the gifts a few weeks ago. Oh, I guess gifts to, if it's, again, unless Harry and Meghan said they received gifts, I would ignore anything about gifts. That's just royal family talking. That's just the British press making up stuff. Would I be shocked that they said no? But again, there is no, Harry and Meghan haven't said anything at all. They haven't even said anything about the birthdays. Nothing. Other than that, there was according to Harry's attorney, Harry was on Sunday at his daughter's birthday party. That's what he did, and celebrating his daughter's birthday. We know that happened. But beyond that, any gifts or anything like that, nothing. None of those things came from Harry or Meghan. So I would just, just sort of put that, park that in the back somewhere until you get confirmation, which we probably never will have. I'm telling you, Manolo said the tabloids need God, really. They are consumed by evil. I'd venture to say they are evil. That's that's just me, but I just think they are evil personified. So yeah. Donna says, Princess Diana went through all of that mess alone. Not even her brother would help her because they were all cowards. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. Even though I appreciate her sisters, now kind of supporting Harry and Meghan, they have also been quiet. You would think your family would be more vocal in supporting you, but they weren't. She literally went through this by herself. And even Harry and Meghan talked about it in the Oprah Winfrey interview, where Harry was saying, he doesn't, he was so grateful that he wasn't going through it by himself, that, him and Meghan had each other, but he couldn't imagine what his mom went through because she had to do it alone. She was alone trying to navigate this space. Let's see. Laverta says, Sonia, exactly. Harry is exposing the operation of the tabloids on a world stage. Not a pretty picture. No, it's not a picture for any of them, including the government and the monarchy. Let's see. Donna said, Donna, I think you're it. If none of the Windsors wished Lily a happy birthday, I seriously doubt Kate sent any gifts. And if she did, I would not keep them. I wouldn't keep anything coming from the Windsors, honestly. I just assumed it was all bugged. And that's, for me, that's just my suspicious nature. When you've proven yourself untrustworthy, don't expect me to trust what you do. And so if I were Harry and Meghan, I'd be like, no, there's a bug in here somewhere. I'd be, if I I'd be like, no, Amazon, just take it back to where you got it, please. We don't want it. Let's see. Anne says, Harry's trying to protect not only his children, but the future young royals, exactly, from the lies and intrusion into their lives. The future monarch are brain dead to the distractions done by the tabloids. Brain dead and just plain coward. The tabloids have a lot on them, and they are terrified of facing them. And so it's like, Harry's like, free your mind and free yourself, people. Let's see. Sonia says, even if Harry and the others lose the case, he would have won anyway, just to have all that info on record. Exactly. I am shouting loudly for everyone to hear. Harry, we are so proud of you. I know, right? I am so proud too. Yes, we are all so proud of you. And again, if you notice, someone mentioned on Twitter that if you notice, neither Harry nor Meghan have ever responded to Piers Morgan. They never even mentioned his name. Yet Harry in court, this is where he mentioned his name, because now it's on a public document, his accusations against Piers Morgan, and it's just like, kudos for them. They know how to fight. That is what I love about Harry and Meghan. They know how to fight, and they know, they could have responded to all the nasty stuff Piers Morgan threw at them, but, they haven't. And now Harry's able to say what he wants to say in court. So, yeah. But tomorrow is also going to be a doozy. Today, at the end there, Harry, it was tough. Today was a tough day. He had some wins. He had some, some draws and some losses as part of everything. And so, so it was a battle, and to see him sit there and take it as a soldier, it is incredible. So, Karen is here. Hey, Karen, hang on one second. Let me see if I can get a couple more in before I jump to Karen. And I guess Leslie isn't here. So, yeah, let's see. Faye Christie said, that's how the cyclists are in the UK. A family member who used to work with the police is nicknamed for the little Hitler. Huh. I'm not sure I understand, but I'm not sure I understand. I'm assuming you're saying that cyclists sort of fly by, and that's why that happened, but I'm not sure I understand the Hitler reference. So maybe explain. Let's see. Karen says, or some moderator says, Kate is doing it because there were a couple of articles of Kate and William arguing on a plane after the wedding. Oh, are you kidding? That is interesting. I'm telling you, when you need to, you need to get on the tabloid side. I guess with Kate, you do what you got to do, just like Camilla did. All right, let's just jump to Karen. Hi, Karen. Let's just get Karen in there. Hang on one second, Karen. Let's get this out of there. Adding Karen. How are you doing, Karen?
I'm wonderful. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, what's
Oh,
your take on what's happened today?
I am so awesome. I just have to share my joy with all of you. And
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw what I wrote in the message there, but
No,
I
I
am just
didn't. What'd you
singing,
write?
singing for joy. I said, "Oh happy day,
Oh,
oh happy day, when Jesus walk, oh when he walk." When Jesus walk beside our Prince, oh happy day.
oh, happy day indeed.
Oh my gosh, I am having a good time. I don't listen, listen. He has to win. He is already a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that he is stating what happened to him during this time of
Mm-hmm.
the torment and abuse that he went through from a child, he is stating his case.
Right.
He is stating his case. And I'm glad that this is happening now because this other case that they're talking about going on in the States, these two
Oh,
are going to fight.
I'm not even giving that any attention
No,
whatsoever.
I'm not giving it any attention. But this is showing the world what happens to people when you torment them, how they can be down spiral by the torment and the abuse that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this here is showing what they have done to this guy's life.
Yep.
Okay, I am so thankful, and it just makes people look harder, make the world look harder, make the US look harder that they're, stretching their hands over there to get the US government involved with this, with the slackness that they go on with in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it just makes them look harder and see. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to people, and this is happening in Mental Health Month. What happens to people? Okay, when they are harassed and tormented, and this guy was, it was happening from the time he was born, from the time
Mm-hmm.
he was a toddler, from the time he was uh, um, a youth. Okay, his mom died from the time he was a teenager. It never left his life, and and to know, okay, that this man is still alive and able um to to um to operate,
Mm.
in the consciousness that he is in right now, presently, today. Okay, I thank the Lord every day, and I can't ask for nothing more. I am
Right.
so happy for him that at the end of this, he's gone through the fire. He has gone through the
Mm-hmm.
fire, and he is
Yeah.
coming out on the other side. You see what Reverend Green said? Go back to the wedding, and Reverend Green talk about the fire. Okay, this is the fire, and they're
Mm-hmm.
coming out on the other side, and they are going to rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Okay, he don't have to win this case through the court. He has already win it through the Lord. He has already win it already through what, through his life, what he's doing right now, and where he is in life right now. He
Right.
is telling his story that he had inside of him all the time that he could not tell. Okay,
Right.
he is putting the two together from what he couldn't understand when he was a little boy and see what his mother was going through. Okay, and can put the dots together today, put the dots together. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and see
Yep.
what she has gone through, and what he has gone through, and
Mm-hmm.
understand her situation at that time. So when we sit back and we look at this, okay, and we can say within ourselves what this woman was suffering, what
Mm-hmm.
she was suffering. Okay, and there was no help, there was no help. But Harry and Meghan has us.
Yep.
We were there for Diana, but there was nothing that we can do. There wasn't social media. There wasn't. We were confused as to what was going on because we were thinking that these people were good people. These people were, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we didn't know that this is who they were until they strike again. And now we're seeing the big picture. Now we have social media. Now we're able to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is what this whole situation brings to us. And I'm sure a lot of us can look at ourselves and look at our families and look at friends. And I'm sure we all know somebody who has
Mm.
been there, who are going through this, who had to, I look at some of the people that took their life, okay, that took their life because of this kind of stuff that happened to them. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
talk about mental illness. We go out there, we preach to people to speak out, to this, to that, to that. Okay, this is what he's doing. Okay, this is what he's doing. This is what speaking out means. Okay,
Right.
even though you know that they're gonna come after you, they're gonna come after you with negativity. They're gonna try to bury you. They're gonna try. You still have to stand strong. You still have to
Right.
stand strong and speak out. This is what speaking out look like. Even if your
Mm-hmm.
back is against the wall, the odds are against you. This is what speaking out looks like. Okay, and
Right.
you have to do it. This is the only way you can have help. This is the only way you can be free. This is the only way you can heal. And this is
Right.
what it's all about. And then people were talking about all the stuff why he had to put all the stuff in his book. This is the reason he had to put all the stuff in his book, because when
Right.
he sit down in the court, this is what they thought they were going to hit him with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we have to remember when Meghan was going through her case, okay, who signed off the papers to the texts and the emails, okay, to
Mm-hmm.
allow it for the other side in court. He
Yep.
can't trust anyone. This is why he said he is telling the holy truth,
Right.
okay, in his book. This is why, because he know that this case was coming up and they were going to dig on to find whatever it is they can dig to find, to come after him in court. So you know something, it's all in the book. So all he has to say, go and check my book out. Okay,
Right.
and they're talking about all this magic mushrooms and all that stuff. I was watching a documentary on TV in about Ukraine and the war and all these different stuff. Okay, and in order for those guys to keep going without sleep and all these different stuff, okay, you think that they don't, and these things are prescribed by by physicians and stuff like that. And if you read Harry book, he
Mm-hmm.
says he these was there were certain prescriptions that was to help him with his PTSD and all these different stuff. This is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not uncommon. It's
Right.
not uncommon. So they're just opening up a can of worms. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
go check out the army and see what happens. These guys go through a lot in the army. They go
Mm-hmm.
through a lot.
Yeah.
So we have to
Well,
think about these things. So don't listen to what these people are coming up and saying and all that stuff. The first thing of all, when Harry, I'm going to finish this. So when Harry wrote that book, he cut them off at their knees. So
mm-hmm.
they had nothing to go after him.
Right.
So that's the only thing that they figure they're gonna grab from that book, okay, and then bring the U.S. government, okay, in it, okay, with their
Mm-hmm.
nastiness. So that's what, and that's what they seem to. The only thing they seem to get out of that book and to go
Right.
after him with. Other than that, they
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to make money off of him for. So,
Exactly. Well,
I am
thank
so
you
happy
so much,
today. I'm glad
Karen.
he had this day. I'm glad he had this day. Number one down. I am happy. I am so happy.
Yes.
Anyway,
I think
so
we're all celebrating. Thank you so much, Karen. I
oh,
appreciate you coming
happy
on and
day.
chatting. Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Oh, thank you, Karen. As usual, she comes on and I appreciate it so much. But on a sad note, I just saw this pop up in the chat. Maggie, my deepest condolences. She says, my good squatty, Sussex squatties and fan, I just lost my mom yesterday evening. Please pray for me and my family. Thanks. And I also, if I am not mistaken, I also, and I'm so sorry, um, Cookies and Cream lost her father as well. And so I don't know if it was anyone else, but I know Cookies and Cream lost her father. So sending a huge condolences to her. And Maggie, I am so sorry for your loss, losing your mom. I can't, I cannot imagine what you are feeling, what you and your family are going through. So I'm just sending you guys my love, and I'm praying that I will pray that God will comfort you and your family. I just, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. So, and I know the entire community, and if I could speak for all of us, I know we're all really with you. And yeah, I'm so sorry. And deepest condolences to you all. It says, amid all of this stuff, life is going on, and as with life, there, this is also part of it, and so, which is really, really sad. So my deepest sympathies to you and your family. So let's do a couple more before we go. Let's see. Oh, Teresa, that's fine. I'm happy you're here. She's like, I'm joining the chat. I'm just joining. The replay will be there. Whatever you missed, the replay will be there. And yeah, so Maggie, I am actually thank you, Teresa. I'm happy you're here. But Maggie, I'm just hoping that you're seeing in the chat, like, everyone just sending you their love. So hopefully you're seeing that. Let's see. Let's see. Donna says, I do believe had Harry not met Meghan when he did, I fear he was thinking about a way. I don't know. I mean, he was going through stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Could be, a lot of vets go through that and have those thoughts as well. And so I'm glad they met each other. And even when Meghan was having her mental crisis, that he was there, even though he said he wished he had done more. Look, how we don't know. We all want to believe that we could respond and we could be the savior in those moments. But until you're in those moments, you really don't know how you would be, and you do the best you can, and whatever you feel like you're lacking in, could try to, I don't know if you can make it up, but you could definitely grow in those areas. So I am I'm happy he's at a place where he feels like not only is he here, but he can also fight back. And so it's a great great testament to the kind of work he's done on himself, and the kind of help that he sought out to getting him to a place where he can be not, as you say, trying to delete himself. So there you go. Let's see. Anne Lewis says, the way the UK media reported that Harry was struggling at the end of the day, what do they expect? If you're cross-examined all day, the royal family are complicit, especially King Charles III and Camilla. Yeah, I mean, even, at the end, if I'm looking at the transcript, even the Andrew Green was even like tired. You're at the entire day. Of course, you're going to struggle at the end. It's just, you've been being cross-examined about your life, that for how many hours. Of course, who wouldn't be? So yeah, and yeah, he did go through some rough patches there, looking at some of the when they were cross-examining him about the different articles. I mean, the same topic being in different articles and all of those things, and then you're cross-examining about things that happened when he was 13 and 14. Of course, so again, it is a battle, and there were some victories and there were some losses, as with any battle. So, and then there were some draws as well. So again, it is a battle. So, and I'm sure Harry didn't go in there thinking he would win at everything, or he would get all the correct answers or be perfect. No, it's what it is. It's a battle, so. But for me, just for him being there, it's just, and being so brave and courageous, and just, yeah, I'm like, dude, you've already won. So you have already won. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Leslie is here. Leslie. Oh, Leslie F is available for update. Wait, Leslie, if you're here, I didn't see you. So there we go. Paste. Oh, here is the Leslie. Here is the link. There. It's I just put it again in the chat. So if you're here, I didn't see Leslie. As I'm screaming through, somehow I missed her. So if you're here, call me. Call my number. Oh, Leslie is here. Hello, my love.
Hello. My apologies. My apologies. I
No,
was
why are you
up. No.
apologizing? I'm just
Well,
glad you're
what
here.
happened was I got up at 4 in the morning so that I could be up by 9 a.m. court time, so I could
Uh-huh.
start getting the updates and the text messages and emails from my friends that are
Uh-huh.
there. And the after court, I'd lay down for a nap, and I knew your podcast was starting in 30 minutes, and I fell asleep. And I'm so sorry. I was like, so I have no idea what you've covered so far because like I literally just joined the chat like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
But
I tried to cover a little bit of just a little bit of his statement, a little bit about different people tweeting about him talking about just Princess Diana, what Piers Morgan did, what he did to Princess Diana, what Piers Morgan did to him, and Meghan,
right.
targeting them, etc. Um,
Okay, yep.
so yeah.
So I'm gonna try and see if let me know if you can still hear me. I'm gonna pull up some screenshots of text messages and notes that I made and let me know if you can still hear me. Okay.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can do this at the same time.
And Little Mac,
Can
while
you hear
Leslie's
me?
doing that, yeah, I can still
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Hang on one
Okay.
second, Leslie. Little Mac, this is very true. This is very true. So yeah. So very, very important. So go ahead, Leslie.
All right, let me see if I can do this at the same time on the screen, okay? If not, I'll just come back and talk about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, it doesn't seem like you can hear me and I can pull it up at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We'll just talk about it.
So,
It's fine.
okay, so the day started off with, I posted, I think it was on yours or on Anne's post when Harry was sworn in about 10:30 this morning. And he went right in and right out. But what I'll do is I'll write it down and then I'll email it to you so that you can see it. But the day started off with a very, very introduction, let's say, of how vicious and brutal it was going to be. And there was actually it's about maybe like a 7, 8 sentence, some like 2 paragraphs full of an apology right up front from Andrew Green,
Mm-hmm.
letting Harry know that if at any time he needed a break, let them know. If it became too much for him, let them know that they were going to start picking everything apart. And they kind
Mm-hmm.
of went in a chronological order back from when he was like 11 years old from the divorce on forward. Overall, they really went in on Piers Morgan. There
Mm-hmm.
was a couple quotes that Harry said that I thought were just magnificent. One being that, and it has caused some outrage against some of the Tory MPs because he stated of the fact that he thought it was vile and cowardly
Mm-hmm.
of people of the press, and he named just like Piers Morgan, to not be called here to defend their position
Mm-hmm.
while he is on the stand being cross-examined, which I thought was very powerful.
Right.
And then he also threw the reason why some of the Tory MPs are upset is because he also threw them under the bus in not directly but indirectly by saying it was the lack of effort and fierce and cowardly of the British government to not go after these media outlets, making them feel that they were above the law.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. And then, so of
That's
course, a
good.
couple of Tory MPs have come out later in the afternoon saying that, very harsh, very harsh, saying if Harry has no respect for the British government and doesn't want to be part of a working world, then it's a good thing he's in America. Like that kind of talk. Yeah. Like that kind of like hard talk. And that
Uh-huh.
royal, which is kind of like a double meaning, royal family members have no business in British politics, which I thought was, wait a minute, is he a royal or is he not a royal? Like, make up your
I know, which
mind,
is
in the
nonsense
same
because
breath.
they're all up in it
Right.
anyway. So it's just that's nonsense.
Right. Now there were some that there he still has court tomorrow.
Yeah, he's
And
coming back.
tomorrow
I
they're
think they're going to
gonna
be questioning him until about lunchtime tomorrow.
I think it's gonna go a little over than
Over
that.
lunchtime, they said. Well,
Yeah.
lunchtime is when I heard over. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to go over just by the impression today. It was very exhausting to the end of the day, including that Andrew Green also was a bit lagging.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you're going to hear in the media, because I've already like scouted one or two articles before I fell asleep, was saying that Harry was saying, well, I thought, well, this is my impression, well, this is how I felt, but they, skirting around the fact, this is what the tabloids are saying, skirting around the fact that, but where's the proof, it is not. So this is how you understand all this. It is not Harry's responsibility to bring the actual evidential proof. This portion is he is talking about his witness statements and how it affected him
Mm-hmm.
and how it impacted him and
Right.
how the possibility. See, it doesn't have to be within a reasonable doubt. It's not a criminal case.
Right. It's a civil
It's a
case. Right.
it's a civil case and it includes defamation of character. So that's where people, I think some of the tabloids trying to twist things. This is not an evidential criminal case, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
So, and not only is Harry's testimony, it's also the testimonies of the other people to come as well that are in
Right.
the court case. Elton John
Mm-hmm.
and the estate of George Michael's,
Mm-hmm.
and also part of Hugh Grant's case, and
Mm-hmm.
the two girls from the TV show that are there too. So he's just the biggest and the primary one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when and they win collectively. So remember, like I said, this is similar to like a class action suit. So if they win collectively, so that's for the judge to determine. So he can't say, okay, all you 8 or 10 that are in this lawsuit, you all win, but Harry doesn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? He can say portions of it are not included, like he did with Hugh Grant, saying the phone hacking isn't, but the burglary and this, and this is.
Right.
So that and it also, like I said, it's to show the impact that is. So this beginning, although it was rough and grueling, there wasn't any bombshells yet, because tomorrow they're going to really go into Chelsea Davies and his relationship with William.
Mm-hmm.
And so the mayor group, the on the win-win side of it is the mayor group did throw a lot of people under the bus today, a lot. They threw Mark Holden, which was Camilla, and well, which was Charles'
Oh,
personal secretary,
was it
Bolin.
Bolin? Mark Bolin?
Bolin.
Uh-huh.
So Mark Bolin was thrown under the bus. Now he was, so think of this as like a pyramid. So Charles and Camilla at the top. He's Charles' personal secretary, but he's also tasked with being Camilla's reputation PR.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what people,
makeover. That
right,
makeover, Camilla. Yeah.
right. Now, what people don't realize, his now husband, Guy Black, he was the head of the PCC,
Mm-hmm.
and they were both best friends with Rebecca. What's her name? That was the editor of
At the Sun. Yeah.
at the News of the World.
Oh, she was at News. Oh, that's right. She was News
She
of
was
the
at
World,
her.
and then she
Yep.
went to the Sun.
They were best friends with her, even going on vacation.
Mm.
And one of the things that I haven't really seen everybody discuss, and I don't know if you brought it up, but I haven't seen it out on the media, was Harry's drug use and going to rehab. So this is how this story was twisted around, okay? And how it impacted him negatively. So the drug use story actually was discovered by World of the
Oh, the
News.
Harry's drug shame.
Yeah, drug shame
Mm-hmm.
was in August of 2002. Okay. Harry had actually visited Featherton. Featherton House is the drug rehabilitation center
Mm-hmm.
in February of 2022.
Right. And they
So
twisted it.
to
Yeah.
yeah, so to rehabilitate and make Charles look good, Mark Bolan decided that he was going to let them know, let the press know, comment know, that as a good father that Charles wasn't concerned for his son, he had him visit this rehabilitation. Now, mind you, it was a visit. It could even be put as a non-official royal visit. It wasn't like he stayed there any length of time. It wasn't like he got any counseling there. I think he went there, I think twice, um and just basically to show his son what are the adverse worst reactions that could happen by constant drug use.
Mm-hmm.
News of the World, in helping out, and I say that in quotes, helping out, decided to put the backtrack of this story that's saying in July and August of 2020, of 2001 was when they got all this information, making
Mm-hmm.
it appear that Charles took him there after the discovery of the drug use, but actually the discovery of drug use was after he had visited the rehab, so it had
Right.
nothing to
Mm-hmm.
do with it.
With
But that is a
right.
way, so that was brought out in court, and that is a way to show how the media manipulated their story to
Mm-hmm.
fit the narrative of a somewhat truth,
Right.
but make it look like a positive story.
Right, because they
With
wanted
that,
Charles at the time. They wanted to, give make Charles look like a good father,
right,
and
and so
yeah.
And so the thing that Andrew Green brought out was, oh, see, they got the information from Mark Bolan, blah 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 blah. But then I don't know how the exact cross examine. I don't know like if Harry can say things to defend himself because I'm not quite sure. Like I don't know if his attorney gets to like counter
Well,
say.
apparently, I just for learned because I was asking the same question too, and apparently his attorney after this, his attorney gets to redirect, which is a
Redirect.
little
Okay.
opposite of how it works in the U.S. You have your
Right.
attorney do it, and then you get the cross. So
Right.
apparently now he gets the cross examination first, and then his attorney gets the redirect.
But Harry, in his statement back to Andrew Green, which I had in quotes, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Although that might have been the mix and how the soup came out, how did you're missing the point? How did News of the World first find out that there was drugs being used at that party? And
Right.
he says he attains that back to like he basically yanked the sheet off the bed and was like, yeah, but how did News of the World already have this information for Mark Bolan to decide to then spin it, give them another nugget to then they
Mm-hmm.
spin it? You know what I mean? You're
Right.
forgetting
Yeah.
that piece. It was heart-wrenching. I did see some sketch about it. There were Harry never asked for a break, so good on him.
Mm-hmm.
From a friend that was there, and the courtroom said that there were times he took some big deep breaths and it was like very emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and his pace of speaking slowed, like he was like fighting back his emotions, which I can imagine, especially talking about his mother.
Right.
They presented the handwritten letters to him in his face today, the handwritten letters that Diana had written to Michael Barrymore. And if you know who
Yes.
Michael
Apologizing.
Barrymore,
Yes,
yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah.
yeah, and if you know who that is, that's Drew Barrymore's father, if I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah, who died of a drug overdose, and she was basically there was no illicit affair or anything like that, as the tabloids try to make that an innuendo, but it was more concern for a friend, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And so those were some of the things so there was no big bombshell where like Harry's like boom, but see, that's not Harry's part. The
Right.
private investigators that will be called up later
Mm-hmm.
in the trial will be recalled up later, and the trial for their witness statements are going to be the ones who have to draw a direct link to each story, which one they found the information on and which one they were paid for.
Right.
So, the media out there going, oh, there was no big this, there was no bombshell. Like that's not the point of this portion. His portion is to state what his mindset was at the time, what his belief was at the time, and how it impacted him.
Right.
And so tomorrow they're going to really go into like him and his brother's relationship and Chelsea Davies' relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think for me, honestly, I think today was the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't say it was like a win-win for Harry or a win-win for I would say if you were judging on the teeter scale, maybe the Mirror Group has a is a little bit, has a little bit more weight on their side
Mm-hmm.
because Harry didn't come out with any big bombshells. And some stuff was, uh disreputed. And that's why Harry said in his statement about Pierce Morgan and everything, I was like, but they're not here to defend what you're saying. They're not here to
Right.
be
Yeah.
cross-examined by my attorney
Right.
um to find out the validity. We just have to believe that's what you
Right.
said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was very emotional. There were times I was reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was like got choked up inside um with it. So just imagine being there. But overall, I would say there was no big bombshells. I'm an optimist to look on the other side. There was no big bombshells by the Mirror. They kind of
Right.
did what they set out to do: skirt, deflect, insinuate, and this, that, and the other. But still, that's up to the judge to decide who they're gonna believe. Take everything. And like I said, one of the biggest uh things that Carrie's team and his entire team, including all the plaintiffs, have is that the Mirror Group side, the defense side, Andrew, does not have any of these big editors up there. They only brought up the one, Sly, and she was editor twice removed from Pierce.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So none of the big editors at the time that were there, none of the journalists that were prosecuted or accused have been there for them to be cross-examined. They were not
Right.
called in as witness.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
whether the courts, I don't know, like in our court system, you can call a witness from the other side and call them a hostile witness,
Right. So, which
can
is what I was thinking.
yeah.
So, I'm not really sure if they could. I mean, I don't know how the court system there works. So, yeah.
I don't know, or I do know though that the judge can order somebody to be brought in. So
Oh,
the whisper, which is not out in the media, I think, and this is allegedly, opinion, just from what I've heard from the people that were actually in the courtroom, that when he was talking about Pierce Morgan, the judge kept like rubbing his chin and like and making notes. So apparently the judge can order somebody to come in. So there is the alleged rumor is that the judge is going to order Pierce Morgan to appear.
I hope so because it's grossly that none of their
Hmm.
people could come in to be cross-examined. That is
Yep.
ridiculous. But unfortunately, Leslie, I unfortunately have to run.
Okay.
I have to end the podcast because I have an
Right.
appointment that I have to run off
Oh,
to.
yes.
But
I hope this was very tomorrow. I will make sure I write down all my quotes so that I have them. So now that I know that I can't flip back and forth, and then I'll have that for you more in depth. And
that's great.
as
No,
of
what
the
you had
his
was fantastic. Thank you so much.
yes, and as of his court case here in the United States that's happening today, which we know all about, which
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
not
not
giving it
mention.
any attention
Yep, it's
whatsoever.
not over
None.
yet. They're still in court. It's not
Yeah.
over yet. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, you guys have a fabulous day.
Oh,
And
thank
for
you
Miss
so
Maggie, my
much.
condolences to Cookies and Cream Splitter and Miss Maggie's mother. Oh, many, many, many blessings and many prayers to you both. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
So, guys, thank you so much. Let's see. There we go. Hang on one second. Thank you guys so much. I am so sorry I have to end it because I have to jet out of here like a crazy person. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, and of course, we're praying for Cookies and Cream and her family. Thank you guys so much for doing an incredible job moderating a chat. Thank you to all of our 2 Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all of our wonderful Gold Star supporters, as you can see in the chat. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you and your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. I'm so sorry I have to run off of here, but I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic evening, and I shall speak to you next time. Okay, bye, everybody. See you. Thank you.